아, 키캣 의자가 너무 낮지 않아? 내가 더워줄게.
You'd think that this lesson would consist of only one word, but actually there are many ways to say you in Korean, and all of them can be correct. The correct way to say you in Korean will depend entirely on the situation you're in, who you're talking to, your own status, and how you want to sound. This might sound complicated, but actually it's not. If you're a first-time learner and want a really quick answer without watching the entire video, then here you go. You don't need to say you in Korean at all. If you're asking a question to a person, it's assumed that you're already talking to them, so you don't need to say you. But sometimes, you really do need to say you. What if you ask a question and the person asks you who you're talking to? Or what if you're speaking to a group of people and want to specifically talk to one person? Or how about if you just want to say you when asking a question anyway, even if it's not necessary? Let's go over a few common ways you can use. A simple way, and perhaps one of the most common ways, is by saying the other person's name. For example, to your friend Kim Cheolsu, you can simply use his name Cheolsu in a sentence. 철수도 그렇게 생각해? Do you think so too? To Cheolsu. Also, if you use this method, you'll need to know that if your friend's name ends in a vowel, as does Cheolsu, you can use it on its own like in the example sentence. But if their name ends in a consonant, you'll need to add 이 after in order to use it in a sentence. For example, 지민이도 그렇게 생각해? Do you think so too? To Jimin. But this method can only be used with close friends. If you're not, you can add a she after their name, which means literally Mr. or Mrs., and this way will be a bit more polite. You can also use a she after their last name, 김씨. But what if you don't know the other person's name? Or what if you don't want to call someone by their name? In these cases, you'll want to use a person's title. A title can be anything from 누나, for an older sister, to 선생님, a teacher, or even 사장님, a boss. Of course, use the appropriate word depending on who you're speaking to. If you're a male speaking to an older female friend, you'd use 누나, but if you're a female, you'd use 언니, and so forth. 누나도 가요? Are you going too? 오빠도 가요? 선생님이 언제 오세요? When are you coming? Also, if you're speaking to someone older, you can use 선생님 to an older man, which translates as sir. Or you can use 아저씨 to an older man, or 아줌마 to an older woman. In addition to an elderly woman, you can use 할머니, which means grandmother, or 할아버지, which means grandfather, even if they're not your own grandmother and grandfather. Essentially, what you want to do is use the person's name who you're referring to if they're a good friend of yours, or use their title if they're someone who you should show respect to, such as a boss or a teacher or someone older than you. If you're just talking with friends, however, you also have another option that you can use to say you. 너. However, be careful. 너 is okay to use with close friends who are the same age as you or younger, but not to people who are older than you, even if you're friends with them. Using 너 is extremely rude in any other situation. 넌 왜 안 가? Why aren't you going? But what if you don't know the person you're saying you to, like at all? What if you don't know their name or their title or their age or anything about them that would let you know the best way to refer to them? Well, in that case, here are two more words you can use. 당신 is the most common word for you that you will find in textbooks. However, it's not used commonly in speech. But if you really have no idea how to refer to a stranger, and you feel that you need to emphasize you in a sentence, you can use this. Other times, besides textbooks, you might hear this word used between married couples, in which case it can translate as dear. Because of that, and because although 당신 isn't rude, it isn't polite either, it's probably best to avoid using this one. A better word that you can use when you don't know how to refer to a stranger is 그쪽. 그쪽 is literally that side, and it's a polite, safe way to say you to a stranger. 그쪽은 한국 사람이세요? Are you a Korean? However, as soon as you know the other person's name or title or anything about them at all that would let you know how to call them, it's best to switch away from using 그쪽. Well, that's all for today. You can also learn more about what we've gone over today in the PDF version of this lesson, which is available here on my website. And as always, I recommend that you watch this video again and then practice on your own by making sentences using what we've learned. And remember that new videos are posted every week, so click subscribe and follow along. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.